Good afternoon, Ms. Speaker. Good afternoon, MPs, guests, and participants. For more than 20 years, we have fought corruption, and it means that we fight for openness, we support openness and transparency. This is a very complicated task, and we are far from completing it. But one of the latest victories is a whistleblowing law. During the anti-corruption day, the Open Governance Partnership assessed our lobbying efforts, our whistleblowing efforts as an example of best practices in Europe. We received this recognition 2 years after the adoption of this law. Today we will speak about lobbying and interest representation, so we can ask ourselves where we will be in the global arena in a few years and about what progresses and achievements we'll be able to speak about. Lobbying is not only about corruption, it's also related to political pluralism and to the possibility of expressing their opinions that is allowed for various groups. The purpose is not to punish, but to ensure that the political processes work for the benefit of the majority and what we can do to improve the situation. Thus, the responsibility lies not only with the elected officials, but also with the civil society and representatives of NGOs and as the society. Most probably, we will hear that the interest representation is a normal part of a democracy, of a democratic mechanism. Yes, various groups should be able to provide their opinions about political decisions that affect their lives. And it doesn't matter whether it takes place on the national or regional levels because municipal decisions also affect people's lives. But politicians need public opinions to ensure that rules, laws, and their implementation are effective and reach the planned target. However, there is still a negative connotation that the word lobbying carries, and use of other words may not change the public opinion about interest and their negative effect on the political decision making. It can be solved by widespread awareness campaigns targeted to people in general, to decision makers and other parties, explaining what benefits they will gain. And we also have to ensure transparency so that people know who contacts decision makers, why, and what resources they use to do that. The fact that interest representation is still unregulated is due to the fact that various groups could not agree what we should define and on which parties we should focus in this area. We, Delna, also are well aware that we are also a party that represents someone's interests. And I think this is the right moment in time for us, the rights defenders, and those who will be subject to this law, to sit at the same table, to share our experiences, our practices, and discuss what principles should be included in the new framework for it to achieve its target. And we are very happy that SAIMA is ready to listen to the public opinion. So this is our opportunity to do our homework. In other European countries, like in Ireland and Lithuania, their experience shows that even in cases when it is complicated, lobbying regulation is still possible. It is very important to learn from experiences of other countries so that we can understand better what we have to do locally. Uh, we can do that in the framework of the Open Governance Partnership as well as Transparency International network. We should encourage the civil society and governments to cooperate to ensure that the reforms are implemented successfully so that we can learn and achieve positive social changes. Furthermore, international organizations that are represented during this conference have done excellent work in identifying best practices and expanding the basic principles of this framework that we can accept or adopt irrespective of the political system. Thus, we highly appreciate their positive reaction to our invitation to share their experiences. Discussion of these questions namely what are the responsibilities, what we can learn from other countries. This is the main task, main reason why we, in cooperation with the Parliamentary Committee of Saima and the State Chancery, why we have organized this conference. Lobbying working group was a wonderful opportunity to make these intentions true. Thus, please use this opportunity and start active work even as soon as today. Thank you for your attention.